I'm going to be doing front disc brakes on a Buick LeSabre today. So the things you'll need for this are going to be a piston pusher set or C-clamp, a ratchet, and a 3/8 inch Allen key for this specific one. Some of them have just regular sockets, some brake and caliper grease, and a wire brush. It happens to be an Allen key for the Buick, but it could be an actual bolt, or it could be a torque spit. So sometimes the bolts will be very tight and you'll need something else to get them off. Sometimes a breaker bar or something similar to get the bolt started. In this case, I was able to get it with just the ratchet. So now I have the caliper all loose. You can see the caliper pulls right off, and the pads, you just have to move them around a bit. And the pads come off. Now here is where the wire will come in handy. Take your wire and put it through a part in the caliper. Hang the caliper up like this because part of the brake caliper is a flexible brake line right here. And if we take that flexible brake line and we let the caliper hang, the brake line will break off and we'll have to get a new piece of brake line. And most brakes will have a caliper bracket. This one does not, so the pads come off quite easily, but if you had a caliper bracket, you need to remove that as well before the rotor could come off. So now that you have the rotor off, you want to clean up the hub. You can get some of that rust off. So overall, the rotor looks okay. There's a little bit of surface rust on it. One thing to note, if there's rust on the rotor, the brake pads could make a squeaking noise when you're braking. It's just the rust coming off. It doesn't necessarily mean the brake pads are bad, and the noise should only last for a few seconds. You're also going to want to clean the inside of the rotor. So next we have to push the piston right here in on the caliper, because when the brake pads wear down, this material here, it wears down and it pushes the piston farther and farther out, and the piston doesn't return to its normal spot, so you need to push the piston down. You have to find the right adapter for it. Then you take the brake pad type piece and the actual piston pusher itself, and you put the pad type piece through the top of the pusher like this, and then you put it in here. So you take the brake pad piece and you turn this here until it's up tight. So then you just take a wrench and you turn it. So at this part you're going to want some brake caliper grease, brake and caliper grease, and you're so start, you're going to want some on the, just a little bit on the inside of the hub. So next we have to lubricate the caliper slides. They came out of the caliper right back here. They screw into the bracket here. These ones were pretty hard to get out, so I had to use a pair of vice grips to pull them out. So just take the grease and put it on the slide just like that. Then you take the slide and just put it right back on in there. So we have the rotor back on, and next up we want to put some grease on the back of the pads to help reduce noises. So just put a little bit right on the back. Alright, so the next step is to put our pads in. So the first one went in, the clips on the back here, went inside the piston. And then on the inside, or the outside, we have this one here, which had the two little clips. So it just went up onto the just like that. So it just goes in there, the little holes line up, and the clips line up too. So next we have to get the caliper on the rotor. So you can just take it off the wire and just slide it right onto the bracket. There's going to be the little bolt holes here you have to line up. So the holes are lined up.